Hello, and welcome to the LRS Education Services Virtual Student Experience Demonstration. The purpose of this demonstration is to give you training in preparation for your attendance as a virtual student in one of LRS Education Services live instructor-led classes. You will receive a Cisco Webex Training Center invitation 1 week prior to the start of the class. This email will contain the login and password information to join your class virtually. Also in this email, there will be both a direct link to your class and an alternative option of visiting lrseducationservices.webex.com. As a general rule, you'll use the direct link. However, in the event of a connectivity issue with the class, you can always fall back on the alternative option. Let's walk through that alternative method. Open your browser and visit lrseducationservices.webex.com. Once connected, click on Training Center, find the name of your class, and click Join. At that point, you'll be prompted for your name, email address, and session password. For your information, the session password will always be capital P A $$$W0RD. Again, that password will be capital P A $$$W0RD. Then click the Join Now button. If you've not already downloaded and installed the Webex Training Center Manager software, you will be prompted to do so. This may include enabling the ActiveX control in Internet Explorer. Note that depending on your connection speed, this could take a few moments. In addition, you'll need to have rights to install software on your computer. Please contact your company's support department if necessary. Next, the Cisco Webex Training Center application main window will open. Immediately after the Training Center application opens, you will see the audio conference prompt. If you'll be calling in via telephone, simply click the arrow to the right of Use Phone and choose I will call in. You can then call the toll-free number provided for you, entering the access code and the attendee ID. However, if you'll be using the headset and microphone that were sent to you by LRS, click Use Computer Headset and then click the Call Using Computer button. If the computer set up for Audio Wizard appears, please follow the prompts to test your headset and microphone. On the Advanced Options page, please do not uncheck any of the boxes. Leave them all checked as their default settings. Please don't forget that it's critically important to test your microphone and headset by noon on the Monday before your class begins. Instructions for setting up your headset and microphone will be attached to the email you receive upon registration of your virtual class. In addition, a printed copy of the instructions will be included in the package with your headset and microphone. Once you've successfully connected to the audio conference, you'll see the volume window. Here you can check the box next to Mute under the microphone option to remove the possibility of background noises causing distractions during class. Just don't forget to unmute when you want to speak to the instructor and the other students. If you close the volume window, you can bring it back at any time by clicking Audio and then clicking Volume. Please remember that the vast majority of communication in your class will be via audio, so confirming that your audio is working ahead of time is critical for your success as a student, as well as helping the rest of the students to stay on track. On the top right of the Webex Training Center window, you may see several icons. Of these, only 3 will be used during your class. They are Participants, Chat, and Video. These buttons are simply toggles to open and close the associated panels in the Training Center window. The Participants panel shows a list of all the virtual students, along with your instructor, who is labeled Host. Next is the Chat panel. There are 2 purposes to the Chat panel. The first is to communicate privately with the host, that is your instructor, during class. The second is for your instructor to communicate with you in the event of an issue with the audio. To use the Chat panel, set the Send To option to Host, type in your message, and click Send. Many times, instructors will show a live video feed of themselves or the classroom to To enable or disable the video feed, click the video button in the top right corner of the Webex window. During class, your instructor will show presentations, demonstrations, and allow you to use a lab computer in the LRS Education Services classroom. At those times, you will not have the full Training Center window with all the panels. However, if you look on the bottom right side of your screen, you should see the Webex session controls. They will be identified by a white arrow with a blue background, several small icons, and the words Viewing Instructor's Remote Computer. By using the icons on the bottom of the session controls, you can access the Participants panel, the Chat panel, and the Video panel. Also, if you need to mute or unmute yourself, you can do so by bringing up the Participants panel, clicking your name, and choosing Mute or Unmute. To remove the panels, click the Minimize button. At the end of each class day, your instructor will allow the Webex session to return to your local computer in the main window. When you're ready to disconnect from Webex, simply click File and Leave Training Session. You will then be prompted to leave the audio conference and training now. Click Yes and then click No on the Save Session Files option. This concludes the LRS Education Services Virtual Student Experience demonstration. Thank you and have a great day.